Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Profile Pod. I'm your host, Double A, and we're back here for another spectacular episode of the podcast. Now, this is the podcast that brings on individuals doing extraordinary things in life to inspire the human spirit. And tonight, man, we got a great one in store. My man hails from Orange County. He is doing his thing as a videographer, podcaster, photographer. He's been in the game for a long time. He took a little hiatus. But he's been back, man, for a couple years now, and he's doing his thing, man. He's got a really, really cool show, cool little podcast that he does, man, and he's got a very cool visual. I can't wait to talk about it with him because I'm really curious as to why he does it the way he does, man. And he brings on really cool uh, artists, everything from hip hop and beyond, man. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my man for the first time here on the Profile Pod with Double A, my man. KShotem. What's up, bro? How are you, man?
What was good, bro? Shit, everything's smooth over here, just working, man, every day, just, trying to reach some goals,
You're going for it, bro. I see you out there, man. I see you hustling, bro. I see you doing your thing, man. And you got your show, you got your YouTube channel, you got you're active as hell, bro. And that inspires me, man. That drives me.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. We're in a game where, you got to feed off of the people around you, the sources around you, And it's the people that don't tune into their sources that never grow out here,
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I like you, man, because you don't wait for stuff to happen. You take the initiative. You take the bull by the horns, as they say, and you go after it, brother.
Yeah,
And I love that,
that's
bro.
that's why, on my Instagram, on my name, I'm Mr. Went and Got It, because man,
Yeah.
like it's just a whole like lifestyle, it's a whole mentality, and it could go from either getting some money or getting a job or wanting to like do something specific, invest into something. Like once I set my mind to something, I'm already like locked in without even in control, it's just I'm a robot at that point,
Yeah, yeah. No, that I saw that. I see your handle, Mr. Went and Got It, and trust me, bro. I noticed that, man. I took notice. I stumbled upon you, man. I think we met maybe sometime last year now, bro. It's been about a year now on Instagram, and yeah, I was immediately drawn to your show, man, because of the mainly because of the visual, man. That blue tint, man. It's catchy as hell, man, and it really catches the eye. And hence you got your blue tint on right now in the background, and I
yeah.
love that, man. I love that
Yeah,
about man. Go ahead.
the blue tint, man, like that just kind of came organically, honestly, just like everything else. Like I don't know, like I put it on a couple different colors, But originally, how it really the color even started was I was shooting at somebody's in their garage or whatever, a little studio, had people coming through all the time, and they had a light there, and they would put on different colors, and I really like the blue one, because I really like the tone of it, it makes you feel like you in the ocean. It's a settled vibe, But I really just ran with that, and when you're building a platform and a certain layout, you need it to be a solid, like they need to understand it the same way every time, So the blue is just like a signature,
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it, man. And what are your guests? Do they kind of trip out? Can you share any type of any story about with your guests? Maybe have they mentioned anything about it? Do they ask questions? Hey, why are we shooting in blue or anything, bro? Like what anything that out of the ordinary about that, or do they love it? I imagine they do, man, because that like you said, man, it's a whole vibe.
And that's exactly what they say when they come and sit down, and when they walking through the hallway to come into the room and they see the blue light, they be like, oh, there's a light, I see the light. So it's just a whole vibe, and everybody loves it. I might have had one or two people ask like, why the blue, why not another color? But I explain to everybody the same thing. It's really just a signature at this point, and
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
my own thing, you know what I mean? It just happened organically though, you know, I didn't really think too much of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You just took it and ran with it when it
Yeah,
when,
yeah,
when it first happened. And
yeah.
it just happened to be blue, bro, or I mean, like you said, it was organic. It could have been red, maybe. It could have been another
Well,
color.
see, I tried red, but I felt like it didn't come out as good on the camera, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
and it just seemed like a more darker vibe, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
we in flames or something, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? And also like the couch too, like that came also organically. Like I was in my apartment and my neighbor right here right now, he was throwing out a couch and my dad was like, he ran up on him, you know, while he was like trying to like put it out. And it's like a vintage type of couch, you know what I mean? And at the time I didn't have no furniture in that apartment, so the couch actually came organically too. Like I didn't go out and pick that one; it picked me, type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just this whole lifestyle picked me. You know what I mean? I didn't really choose it. You know what I mean? It's been in me since probably like forever. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you, man. I feel you because you started out in photography, right? Like still photography. Correct me
Yeah,
if I'm wrong.
I started out probably like 14, 15 doing you know, photography off a power shot camera, you know what I mean? And
Mm.
I was doing that and uploading my photos on MySpace and you know, back then everybody wanted the fly MySpace picture and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Nice.
So I was, you know, I was going out there and doing it, man, but like, you know, really that started with you know, originally I was into graphic designing and making banners and logos for like artists in the city as a teenager or whatever. But then one day I just took a photo of my neighbor in the backyard type shit,
Uh-huh.
and I put it on my Photoshop and I just did a little quick edit, put a random name on it. You know, who knows? I went through a couple before I found the name I was coming to, and basically, you know, ever since that first day of putting it on Photoshop and posting it, that's what I was doing every single day, you know what I
Mm.
mean?
You were hooked, right? I mean,
I was hooked, man. Like I just found
yeah,
something of my own, you know what I mean? It was my own creation type shit, you know, and I was running with that shit hard.
yeah, yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt, man. But you know what? And you grew up in Orange County,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What city in Orange County?
Shit like Santa Ana, Garden Grove, Anaheim area, you know what I mean? Right on the borderlines of like all that shit. So,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah, man. That's yeah. I worked in Anaheim for a few years, man. I love Orange County, man. But you know, I grew up in IE, bro. So
yeah, yeah.
my you know the beaches we frequented Newport, you know, Huntington. Those were our beaches. You know, growing up, I was always you know those were the beaches we went to, man. And you know, I would always so I grew up going, cutting through Orange County, bro. You know, I got some friends in South OC, and you know, I worked, like I said, I worked in Anaheim. I got pretty familiar with the OC, man. And I love the OC, man. Lots of places to eat. It's you know, it's a nice vibe, bro. There's, you know, the breeze is always coming through. You got the ocean nearby, and
Yeah.
yeah, man. What were some of the things that you learned growing up in the IE? That's me, in the OC, man, and in those cities.
Yeah.
Some of those things, lessons that you learned that you can apply to that you apply to your life now, man, as an entrepreneur, as a you know, hustling, you know, doing your thing as an artist. Talk about some of those things that you learned growing up, man, that you apply now.
Shit, honestly, man, like just never give up. You know what I mean? Like if you have a vision for something, just go full throttle and never give up. Cause I mean, once you give up, that's when you decide to quit. You know what I mean? Once you stop, that's when you decide to quit. You know what I mean? So I mean, the grind in me has always been there, even since I was a kid. You know, even whenever it came to work or whatever else, like I would just always like getting shit done, you know what I mean? And I mean, realistically, bro, like I just go hard, you know what I mean? Like, and that's the best advice I could give to people trying to like really build and shit. Like, you just gotta go hard every single day, you know what I mean? Treat the things that you wanna do, treat the everything like a business, you know what I mean? And really be on it every single day, cause you ain't gonna get nowhere if you just make a post and hope somebody, some random new person likes it or comes and fucks with it. Like, you got to go out and get that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man. We've had many conversations, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
right about this and how you can't just expect it to come to you, man. You got to you got to take the initiative, man. You got to take it to the people. You got to show them.
Man, you got to, bro, because a lot of these people ain't even seen your posts, you know what I mean? Like, so you just bring it to them quicker, you know?
Exactly, man. And that's one thing I really took from you, man. Honestly, like and where I was just kind of, I'd post something and I'd share here and there, but it wasn't to the extent of you know really taking it to multiple people where you know five at least five people, but hey, uh, 10, you got to go over 10, 20, 30. I mean, it's just it's got to be profound, man. It's got to be, you got to take it to the people, man. And like I said, man, that's one thing I learned from you. And I've seen the results. I've seen the difference. I've seen that shit, man.
Oh yeah.
That
I
activity,
mean,
it pays off. It really does.
yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole point in this shit, you know what I mean? You gotta go make it happen, you know, and you can't wait on anything in life, period, you know what I mean? And that's how you really know who's gonna really support and be your core supporters when you send them your shit and they fuck with it, they go share it, like it, whatever the case may be, you know that's a supporter, you know what I mean? The other ones are just followers, you know what I mean? And those don't get you nowhere. It's just aesthetic, you know what I mean? A fucking a perception, you know what I mean? That picture they painting, you know what I mean?
Yeah, a decoration. uh, I like what you said, man. I'd rather have a supporter than a follower, man, because the
Yeah.
supporters they're gonna be there for you, man. They're gonna show you the love, the real love, and be there and support and like follow, man. I posted that thing today with you, man, and your guys are solid, man. Your people are behind you, man, and I felt that. I felt that today, and that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, you know. But yeah, man, Instagram it can be a great networking tool,
Oh yeah.
marketing, networking, promotion. If you're using it like that, use it the right way. It can pay dividends for you, man. And
Oh
I
yes,
see that
sir.
with your page.
Yeah, I mean my page is only like 2 years old, but I took also like pretty much almost a year off because I was in a relationship, you know what I mean? Fuck that shit. And yeah, like pretty much I wasn't doing this shit, you know. So if you really want to count actual time, like in a year and a half or some shit or a year, I don't even know, bro. Like I just started like really pressing the line harder. Probably like shit. If you go look at my videos, I've been posting every Monday since I think August. So it's not been that long. It's only been like 2, 3 months, but you know, it's enough to keep people's attention. You know what I mean?
No, I see the growth, man. Definitely, bro. In a short period of time, man. But yeah, man. You mentioned you took some time off because of relationship, man. But I guess love will do that to you, right, bro? But
Man, like, I mean,
love will fuck with you, bro. Huh?
yeah, I mean, the whole thing about relationships, you know what I mean? If she ain't understanding like your life before you met her, because you know, when you meet a girl, now you doing shit with her, and you might be ignoring the shit that you normally do. So now you're just creating this whole idea of I'm not gonna involve this. So when you go to involve it, it ain't happening, you know what I mean? Because they want to see you and now they bitching about, this and that. It just don't work out for me, you know what I mean? I'm a go-getter, so she could come over for the slobby wobby 3000, but you know, That's it.
Yeah. No, I feel you, brother. I feel you, man. It's one thing, um, I tell my son, man, I tell him, when you go after your goals, after your dreams, man, first, you take care of yourself first, man. And then all that other stuff is gonna fall in line, man. It'll come, just handle business first, get yourself straightened out, your life in order, and then you could settle down later on. But that's one thing, and that's I kind of live that myself, bro. Like, I didn't get married until it was with 38. I think I was like 38, man. And but like I was focused on really just you know handling business, man. And, I finished
Yeah,
college or whatever the case was, right? Going after goals and accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish.
hell
And,
yeah,
and, and that's me. That's my opinion. That's the way I live my life. And there's nothing wrong with if you want to get married young or whatever the case, settle down, however you want
yeah,
to,
yeah,
whatever that looks like for you. But I believe in, like, accomplishing and going after your dreams,
hell yeah.
and and doing your thing first. You know, but yeah, man, it's again, man, it's I like to surround myself with people who are like minded, brother, and I see that in you, man. We share a lot of the same philosophies and you know
Like how we view things about this,
ex-
networking stuff, and
yeah,
yeah.
podcasting, creating content, and the thing that the haters and handling those
Ooh!
haters and shit. And that comes with the territory. There's a lot of the stuff we experience, a lot of similarities, bro, a lot of parallels going on. And
Oh yeah,
but
definitely.
right.
Hell
And
yeah, bro. I mean, shit. It's just what comes with this shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, but again, I like your stance, bro. Nothing's gonna stop you, man. That's just period end of story, right? Nothing's gonna stop us,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, shit. I'm shadow banned right now. You know what I mean? I've been shadow banned, and like I told you before, I've been shadow banned, and goddamn,
Yeah.
I can't do certain shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, like, but I'm still like not letting that shit stop me. Just like when somebody tells you you can't do something, it's like, what? Like, okay, now I'm gonna show you more. And I mean, realistically, all the haters that I do interact with and I do have, and a lot of them, sadly, they're people that I worked with before, you know what I mean, did an interview with and got
Wow.
weird later on. And it's like, bro, you just hating on yourself because you're on my platform and I'm helping you out. And I mean, some people they just don't value what's in front of them, you know what I mean? And it's sad to say, but you just gotta let those people be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit.
No. Exactly, man. And, I always say, haters are good indicators, man.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah,
you
they're
have haters,
motivators.
yeah, and if you have haters, means you're doing something right.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, I know I'm doing something right, but like I still don't feel like I've done anything yet because I don't let myself psych myself out to think I need to slow down or I could just be like chilling like oh I could get 3, 4, 500, 600 likes on a post. I'm climbing my way to 1,000. Like I'm gonna chill out. Now, like I mean, I'm trying to see my shit go crazy, but I still don't feel like it's done anything. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's what keeps me hungry to keep on growing out here too. But realistically, bro, it's just the platform. You know what I mean? And I have a vision for this shit. It ain't just like I didn't just wake up one day and like got inspired by another motherfucker. I mean, the person that really did inspire me to this shit, to be honest with you though, was this photographer way back in the day, dude named Jorge Peniche, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's still doing this shit right now.
Uh-huh.
But he would have people like videoing him taking photos, and he was shooting like people like the game and like all these like underground West Coast artists, because the West Coast around like the mid 2000s, this shit had a sound, you know what I mean? And realistically, the game when he came back out and he, or when he came out in general
Hmm.
and started making music and putting the West on, like the West didn't really have too much of a sound before then, so he really put it on the map to where now all these other people can get on possibly because the game out here doing this thing, so
Yeah. Yeah.
shit pretty much around that time though, I mean, shit, I was doing my thing with the photography shit, but Jorge Peniche, he was putting all that shit in motion and I was watching it. And there was this other guy named Ace Photography, and he
Hmm.
was also another one doing his shit. And this was probably even before I even took the photos, whatever. And then once I took the photo, you know what I mean, it just kind of like came naturally to me, and I already had kind of like a layout in my head about like a style almost. And that's
Uh-huh.
kind of honestly low key what kind of made me do the hip hop style. Cause before these interviews, back in the day, whenever I was doing pictures, that's what I was doing, like the hip hop scene, but I was doing it for Orange County. But I
Hmm.
would also work with a lot of people in LA. They would either shoot out over here, I would go over there, you know what I mean? Actually, the most like loyal people or the people that was about their bread or their vision was always coming out of LA, you know what I mean? Orange County always had a black cloud over it, and it was always like motherfuckers still hardly don't want to invest into what they got going on, you know what I mean? They want everything for free damn near, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you, brother. So, Jorge Peniche, how did you meet him? Uh, How did that come across?
I didn't meet him. He was
Okay,
just somebody. He was just a photographer that I got inspired by. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
So whenever I got inspired by that whole situation, you know what I mean? I mean that just kind of gave me like I don't know, bro. Like when you get inspired by something, like you live in a different life if you doing the same thing as what you're inspired by. You know what I mean? Like your whole brain is laid out just how his is now, you know what I mean? Because you have an example right in front of you of how to do it. It's a blueprint, you know what I mean? And
Mm,
some people they blind to that, you know what I mean? They don't know the qualities of the blueprint, you know what I mean? And I done figured out the blueprint to Instagram. It's just I'm just waiting for some. I haven't did no viral shit yet because I'm not posting viral shit, But one day some viral shit's gonna happen or it's gonna
yeah.
go on my channel and or a video whatever and it's gonna go up. But I believe in working hard for what you're gonna achieve. You know what I mean? So I'm just posting my content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being consistent, doing everything that I'm supposed to do, you know what I mean?
That's right, man. That's right, brother. Yeah, and let's go back to '08, man, with your photography. You talk about how you got involved with YG. You shot his photos, back in yeah, in '08, and and then you linked up with well, talk about that, man. You were 17 years old, man, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How did
So
that come about?
so how I linked up with YG, he had just made the Tooted and Booted song and he was already like out there, you know what I mean, now because his shit was on the radio. A lot of people knew who he was, whatever, right? His name was definitely bubbling. And I was working with his boy, this guy named Charlie Hood.
Mm,
And Charlie Hood basically one day was like, "Hey, let's do a photo shoot with YG." And of course, I'm gonna be like, "All right, bet," you know what I mean? So they shot out over here from where they're at, like Compton, Inglewood area. They shot
uh-huh.
out over here, and we did a photo shoot at the fucking Main Place Mall. You know what I mean? Took them in there, and in the car, I had a picture with YG like leaning back, you know what I mean, throwing his shit up. And this was like for sure '08. I was like 17 years old, and I had a SLR at that point. I still have it. It's hanging on the wall. It's from like over 10 years ago. But yeah, that's how I pretty much met YG, and it was through his boy Charlie Hood. And
I see.
after that, motherfucker took off for sure. You dig me? Like,
Yeah, man. Yep. So that was '08, man. Then so and you took a hiatus, right? For several years between '08 and
yeah.
when?
So around 2000, like 2010, that's when my like the SD card, slot thing, it fucked up because my memory card, it was one of those ones where you could bend it, and it was like the other little USB, and basically like I ran over the whole card with my chair, but it was still able to, go in there and work and shit. But one day, this shit got jammed, and my dumbass like pulled it out, and I couldn't put it back in. So I was like, well, there goes that camera, you know what I mean? And
Oh,
I basically just like got on a got on a job, and I started working, you know what I mean, just like anybody should. And
yeah.
basically, it just took me like I want to say like 7, 8 years. And one day I was just working, you know what I mean, a couple years ago. Probably I got the camera probably like 3 years ago, but I didn't really start promoting this shit until like 2 years ago. But I just got tired of like not working, but like the everyday flow bullshit. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I know I have bigger things to accomplish in life because I already started my whole journey, you know what I mean, whenever I was a kid. So my whole life, ever since I was doing my shit back then, it just it just always ate at me, you know what I mean? Like, man, like you need to get back on your shit, you know what I mean? Because I was doing my thing for a teenager, you know what I mean, and everything was just self-made type shit, you know what I mean? And like I said, I started off with a power shot camera, but then I worked my way up to the SLR, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was it, a Nikon D40. So, and as a young motherfucker, I mean, those are big moves to make, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Is that you still use that camera now?
Nah, that's just, it's broke, you know what I mean? I still have it, but it don't work, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh. What do you shoot with now, KShot?
Shit, now I shoot with a Canon Rebel T5i. Um,
Uh-huh.
I'm about to get another one, you know what I mean, to enhance my interviews and the way it looks and the way it flows, you know what I mean? I got upgrades coming, you know what I mean? Like for
Yeah.
sure I got shit coming, man, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm just letting God do the patience for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, bro. Man, going back to your story when you got, you went to work for 7, 8 years and you just started realizing like, man, you got tired of that just day to day.
Yep.
I experienced a similar situation, man, where about, well, I've been probably, about back in about 2018, man, I started like, because I used to perform, I'm acting and stuff like that. And I've
Yeah.
always loved that type of stuff, man. And about 2005, 2006, that was the last time I was in the world, right? And so, life happens, blah blah blah. Went to work, career, and like same thing, bro. Just like, man, is this? I started thinking like, am I gonna just is this it?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I just had that epiphany, man, just like you, and just kind of. It's like, man, am I getting any younger? Am I going to go after it or not? Am I going to go after some of these goals that I left unfulfilled or not? Am I going to grab my balls and just go after it? So, I can relate to that, man. And I think that's, a lot of people have that, bro. Like they have that moment, but they don't take action. And I just decided, you know what, I'm going to take action, man. And I think it's very, liberating, man. I think it's very rewarding when you start, you see the fruits of, the action of the labor, where you see results and you're like, damn, okay, I'm glad. I think I'm doing something here. And things start to take they gain the traction, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you start feeling like okay, and then that propels you, bro. And I'm sure you experienced that same thing, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, um, it's low key like a little drug, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you like it could potentially grow more or you could lose it. So you
Mhm.
gotta just go hard, and that's why I always tell people like one thing that I heard from I forgot who the hell it was, but they were talking about, you know, the best thing that you can do is just keep posting, you know what I mean? Like don't I mean, to me, it's all about having a format and a formula, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I feel like a lot of people they don't know how to put their shit out there, you know what I mean? They don't know how to promote themselves. They don't know how to market whatever. I mean, they just kind of like post things and it don't go nowhere, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. No, I exactly, bro. But I think again, you keep going and you learn as you go. I like somebody said, you take imperfect action, right? Um,
Yeah.
you take action. You might not know what the hell you're doing first, for X amount of time, but you do the research, you do your due diligence, and then you learn. The next thing you know, bro, right? You're taking you're moving up. You're taking those steps. You're progressing, and I think I think that's key, man. I think that's key. Just taking that first step and then just moving forward. Even if it's at a millimeter a day, at least you're moving forward. You
Oh
know.
yeah, definitely, man. I mean, this shit ain't gonna happen overnight, and a lot of these motherfuckers think
Yeah.
that this shit just gonna fall in their fucking lap. You know what I mean? And there's
Yeah.
way too many people doing the same thing for that to happen that easy. You know what I mean? You got to go out and get it. You gotta, if you want it bad enough, you're gonna make it happen. And the benefit that I have, my superpower is I obsess over the things that just come to my brain that I know that either I gotta do or I need to accomplish whatever. I mean, it's just like I said, it's like a drug at that point because I
Yeah.
start to look back in the past couple years and I'm just like, like I put my name Mr. One and got it, but I just did it just to do it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't thinking much of it at the time, but then I started to think about like the past couple years. I'm like, man, like I just be like making shit happen, you know what I mean? And it's just ain't nothing gonna tell me nothing, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make that shit happen. They could shadow ban me. Somebody can tell me something in front of my face, and I'm gonna show them. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make that shit work.
That's the beauty of this world, man, that we're in. That there's no limit, man. It's untapped. It's just it's what you make of it, like you said.
For real,
It's
bro.
seriously, man. There's no cap, no ceiling. Um, if you really want it badly enough, man, shit, it's gonna happen for you, man. And let me ask you this, brother. Um, I know I experience this sometimes. I know artists out there do. You know, you and I, we do interviews, we podcast. Um, what do you ever experience like a period, those moments where you're stagnant or creatively, right? Where you're kind of stagnant or you just can't, it's not clicking for you creatively. Do you ever experience that? And if you do, what do you do to kind of get those creative juices going to keep that fresh, those ideas coming, bro? What inspires you? You know?
Well, I kind of have to say, like, low key, it's the people. You know what I mean? The people that I'm interviewing, and but see, this is the thing too is I don't really know until I do the interview and after I post it, like really like even the story that I just posted, you know what I mean? Like the clip, they all kind of flow like everybody got a real story, you know what I mean? And they do, but to answer your question though, like I don't know, bro. Like if I just keep on posting and I keep on finding people like say like this, right? You want to stay ahead, right? So I got two interviews already in the vault, right? So like I could go out get this next one and it's all gravy. But to me, it's to stay ahead and to stay up to pace. You know what I mean? So as long as I have a video for Monday to drop, I know it's gonna be a good one because I never did an interview in my life, and I was like, I'm not gonna post that unless they was saying some crazy shit that they was supposed to be saying. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
most of the time, you know what I mean. I never really have like a stagnant moment unless it's like I'm just over Instagram. I'm just like, man, I don't even want to do this today. But you know, when you feel like that, that's just the devil trying to pull you, you know, back from what God has planned for you. You know what I mean? And I feel
Mm,
like, you know, it's just like a lot of things. Like I had a little homie, you know, I was gonna take him to this show. I was gonna be doing something for this one DJ. Forgot what DJ it was, honestly. It was it was like about a year and a half, 2 years ago or some shit like that. And old boy didn't want to go. And I'm like, bro, like this is good for you because you're an artist. You know, there's decent name artists here, you know what I mean? It ain't like no underground shit. Like this was a big DJ or whatever. So, you know, he didn't he backed out of going, and it's like, bro, like you just missed out on an opportunity. But some
mm,
people they listen to that, you know, that little devil on the shoulder instead of that angel on the right, you know what I mean? And you know, they psych themselves out of a lot of opportunities, you know what I mean? But I never have a stagnant moment, bro, because I'm always driven and I know like I'm spiritually in in tune with shit, you know what I mean? So like when things come about where I feel like I don't want to do it or I want to like fall back a little bit because it is a job, you know what I mean? Like it ain't as easy as everybody looks at it to be, you know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
really like be on Instagram 8 to 10 hours a day, you know what I mean?
I feel you, bro. Yeah. No, you know, when it comes to your guests, though, you know, I know I like to bring on guests that I'm genuinely curious about.
Yeah.
You know, people I want to know more about, just naturally, right? Curiosity, and just so I'm going to bring those guys on. You know, because I want
Mhm.
to. I'm genuinely interested. You know, the type of guests you bring on. Tell us a little bit about what are the things you look for in a guest when you bring them on? You know, how do you select your guests? How do you go about that process?
Um I mean 90 I want to say like 98% of my guests have to do with music I would want to say.
Yeah,
And I mean some of them I meet just from networking cuz you know I'm heavy on that. And you know, I might find an artist, you know, and like their music and I see something in them. So I post them on my story, I promote them, whatever. And you know, just based off of like my profile, what they see, I mean, most people when they come to my profile and they follow me, they're telling me good things, you know what I mean, and they love the content. So
mm,
it's like a matter of time before they be like, "Hey, let me get on your platform." You know, what's the ticket, whatever. So it's
yeah,
like for me, I find one person or they find me, and then that one person turns into me meeting somebody else from their city and so forth. And I mean, I really don't know if they have a story or not. You know what I mean? All I know is I like their music, you know what I mean? But everybody got a story at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I feel like they're they're supposed to be on my platform for a reason, you know what I mean? Like there's a reason why whenever I post a clip, it's the type of clip it is. And me personally, bro, sometimes I'm in a rush. Like I'll just like pick like a random spot and I'll be like, you know what, this sounds like a decent little area. But sometimes like I be posting shit randomly almost and it's still like is some in-depth shit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, no, I like your interviews, man. They're intriguing, man, and you know they're telling good stories, man. Your guests they're raw, they're freaking real, gritty, man. I love it, man. And Uh, so going back to that, you mentioned that you'll share something like on your stories, right? You'll see someone, an artist, and it catches your eye. You'll share some of their content on your stories, and you without even knowing them at all. It
Yeah.
just it's just
Like,
random, out of the
I don't
blue.
even know them from a can of paint, but my job is to promote and find artists, to promote artists. Like, that's my whole job on there, you know what I mean? That's why I don't really post myself too much, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about me, you know what I mean?
Mm,
It's about everybody else. And
I love
basically, like, I do that often, bro. Like, if I follow artists or I find the artist, I'll immediately go to the comments and be like, all right, who fucks with him? You know what I mean? Like, does he have a following? Whatever, you know what I mean? Because I'm to the point now where, I don't really just fuck with people that, don't even have a strategical mind, a promoting mind, because I just don't have time for it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so they got to be able to bring a little something to the table, because then I know they're serious about their craft more. You know what I mean? Not just somebody like thinking some shit's gonna fall into place like out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
it. Yeah. No, man, I love that, bro. I love that. I love that you do that. I don't think a lot of people do that, man. Like uh, just share someone's content out of the blue, and you don't without even knowing that person. That because that's a you're gonna catch their attention right away. Like who the hell is this? You just posted my shit, like
Yeah.
and it's flattering. Let's face it, man. It's flattering. It's the right person's gonna appreciate that and respect that. You know what I mean? I know I would. I was like, damn, who the hell is this? Just shared my account. I don't even know this guy.
Well,
You
that's how
know,
you find
and
the
that's
ones
cool,
that are
man. That's
gonna
great.
support you. You know what I mean? That's how you're gonna find those ones that are gonna like show the love back. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna know if you don't show any love. You know what I mean? Like, because I always felt like in order to get love, sometimes depending on what you're doing, you gotta show some love. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And when it comes to this like promoting shit, you gotta give a hand for a hand in this shit, man. And like this whole
Yeah.
music industry, this whole fucking like artistry bullshit, like it's all based off of feeding off the next person, and not even in no bad way, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like what forms a team is everybody does something different in a team to form a team. It's not everybody's an artist, everybody's a video guy. Like, that's not a team, you know what I mean? So in this whole artistry shit, you gotta understand those things, and you can't be no hater in this shit. And I mean, let's face it, your homies is gonna hate on you. You know what I mean? They see you doing something like greater than them, and you figured it out. They gonna hate you because I look. Everybody that was commenting last year or like even 6 months ago, they ain't showing that love no more because
Damn.
they seen how my page kind of went up. And I remember people, you know what I mean? So I don't like I'll still salute you, support you in the sense of like I'll send you a message, tell you keep going, but I ain't posting you my story. I ain't telling you slide through for an interview. When you want to slide through, it's gonna be, $1,000 for that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So, but for you now it's gonna be 2 grand because they fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly, bro.
Man, stop playing with me, man.
I love it, brother. Now let me ask you this: have you ever had a artist, not totally ignore your post or not respond in any way when you do that?
To be honest with you, you mean like whenever I post them in my story and shit?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, you might have some artists that do that, but I'm so active on Instagram that I'm also doing it so it keeps my story active too, you know what I mean? So even if they don't repost it, like the people that are on my story, they're coming for multiple reasons, you know what I mean? Like, and that's why it's important to sometimes I post a video of myself. It could be funny or it could be just me updating people, you know what I mean? You got to change the pace up sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to be random sometimes because people get so used to once they figured out the format, you know, they ain't as in tune. So you got to keep on changing your format for them to stay like entertained almost. And that's
Mm,
one thing that music artists lack the most is they'll post their music all day, but they don't have all the other elements that promote the actual music for when they're not posting the music. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nobody gonna be there.
yeah, man. No, I love it, man. I love your perspective, man. It's fresh, and like I said, man, it's I take something from every one of my guests, man. You know, I take something, man. Those nuggets, you know, and I appreciate you, brother. I wanted to take it back, bro, to Urban Inc.
Oh
Urban Inc.
yeah.
magazine. 18 years old, man. You
Ooh.
got you got uh you got your photography, some of your pictures in there, some of your photos in that magazine.
Yeah, yeah. I was 18 years old and that was with Charlie Hood,
Mm,
which this was actually before I met YG. We did the magazine. We I had already been working with him. I had did already, a couple photo shoots of him. And basically, one day, just like how he hit me up with YG, he was just like, "Hey, I got this not a deal, but I got this magazine that wants me to be in there because at the time, tattoos were a thing, but shit, like to be covered like these motherfuckers were, it was kind of like, you know, some real street shit and some real different shit. So he got put in this magazine on like two different pages, and it was like it was about six photos, like two small photos, a big photo on the whole page, and then the other page it was some smaller two photos, and it had my credits in there and everything. You know what I mean? Photography by KG, because at the time that's what I went by. You know what I mean? And he
okay.
just came to me with that, I mean, and we did it, and it felt good, I mean, going to the store right here, the 7-Eleven, and just back in the magazine days, I mean, bought two of them bitches, and you know, uh, one of them, my homie, he took and somehow lost it, you know what I mean, and I just lost the other one whenever I was with my ex, you know what I mean. Goddamn, whenever I moved out of there, you know what I mean, that bitch fucking took a bunch of my things, and that was one of the things, because it's some sentimental shit to you, but
Yeah.
he has a music video, Charlie Hood, and he has the magazine right there where he's looking at it, but it's the 2008 issue with T-Pain on the cover. So if anybody ever sees that magazine or looks it up online, look up Charlie Hood and you'll see my credits right there. You know what I mean?
2008, man. You said T-Pain?
Yeah, T-Pain
No.
was on the front cover.
Okay.
That was
Damn.
when he was pretty, hot back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was. That was his wheelhouse right there, man. Yeah, and Charlie Hood, man, you stay in touch with him?
You know what, man? I haven't. He never really like. To be honest with you, like he never really like went full fledged with the music because him being like YG's like homie, whatever, like I would assume that YG would bring him up with him, you know what I mean? And I don't know, like ain't no telling, I mean, I lost, the time when MySpace transitioned over to MySpace to Facebook, literally a day it was dead, you know what I mean? Like you had to go to Facebook. So I lost a lot of connections, a lot of people, and it just
Oh,
changed the whole wave of things. You know what I mean? Facebook was like a complete different world. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's also another reason. Once that happened, it was only about a year after that. That's when my camera fucked up. So I had to rebuild my shit anyways. Because on MySpace, I had quite, I had a lot of people on there. You know what I mean? A lot of network on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
MySpace, damn, bro. That's going back now. I had MySpace for like literally a couple weeks, and
Oh yeah.
that was, I never got into the whole social media thing, man. But especially back then, and then into like the 2000s, the 2010s, and then I started this whole thing with the podcast, and um, I knew I had to get into that game, man, and obviously to promote and market and network. Uh,
See,
you know, go
I
ahead.
I think where a lot of people like, get me messed up too is like they think that I just started doing this shit maybe like a year or two ago, but like the way I have the marketing mind and the promoting mind is I really started this shit a long time ago. And on MySpace, bro, like the marketing was just on a whole nother level because you could customize your whole profile to like
Yeah,
a website, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I mean, realistically, they need to come back with some shit like that. But nah, bro. I mean, my whole mind is like set for what I got going on. You know what I mean? And you know, probably, you know, thanks to people like Say Cheese and DJ Vlad and other interviewers that I really just like sat and watched, and I discovered a lot of artists watching the interview. You know what I mean? So I know the value that the interviews really have, you know what I mean? Because I was the guy just watching the interviews, you know what I mean? And the vision I have, I don't even know where it came from, to be honest with you, man. Like, I mean, like people on my mom's side, like they do music, you know what I mean? Like RP to my cousin, he was a producer and like he was he could play damn near any instrument, you dig me, and
uh-huh.
then my other cousin, he signed to like a major label, like a punk band, you know what I'm saying, type shit, Oh boy's a real rocker, you know what I mean? So, this artistry shit kind of like had been in my family. Just I kind of got blessed with like the vision I got blessed with, you know what I mean?
Mm, yeah, yeah. It's in your blood, bro.
Yeah, shit in my blood, like they say, it ain't on you, it's in you. And you could have the fanciest camera, you could have a red cam, you could have $1 million camera, but if you don't have the eye for that motherfucker, then it don't matter what you got. Cause I
Yeah,
could use a shitty ass camera like I was in the back in the day, and you're gonna be like, damn, like how the hell did that photo come out that good? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Back in the day, they didn't have no iPhones and shit. You had sidekicks and shit. So like if you had a camera like mine, you was really like actually doing something. Like if you had an SLR, that shit was like the shit back then, you know what I mean?
exactly, man. Exactly. You know, um, I wanted to kind of again keep it like we'll talk about the Beat Lounge Radio, man. It was an online
Shit.
radio show.
The
It
beat
was a podcast without before it was called the podcast, right? Quote unquote.
we'll
Talk about
see
that, bro.
we'll see. Yeah, Beat Lounge Radio was a online radio station that was hosted in downtown Santa Ana in one of them big ass buildings. And basically, like, they had reached out to me and they had seen me moving in the city and whatnot. And they were an online radio station. So their whole thing was finding artists and giving artists a platform to come and promote their music and stuff. And this was far, 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 far beyond what a podcast came to be just a couple of years ago, you know what I mean? So this was the same situation where you got a table, you got mics on the table, it's just not being recorded, it's just being recorded audio.
Mm,
So they had invited me onto the show and they're like, we never had a photographer on here, I mean, we want you to be our first whatever. So I go on there as the first photographer. So like probably in Orange County, I could for sure say that I don't want to say the first, but I could say like one of the first, I could say the first photographer to be on a fucking like podcast thing back in like 2008. A lot of shit happened in 2008, bro. Like I was really like that was
uh-huh.
the peak of what was about to happen, you know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason in life, you know what I mean? So, you know, the reason why I picked it up again is for a reason too, is because I wasn't done, you know what I mean? But I'm about to finish this motherfucker off, I promise you.
no doubt, man. Well, number 8, man. It's just I don't know if you're into like new numbers, and I think 8 is the number of new beginnings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Look with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, man. And but yeah, man, you thought, man, you go back now a long time, man, and again, it's not like you said, man. You didn't just wake up one morning and just all this came to you. It's just um, I think you bring a lot of value, a lot of wisdom to the game, man, and yeah, I mean, you like I said, I picked up a lot of stuff from you, brother,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Well,
you know,
like I always tell people too, like, I'm not just a video guy or I'm not just a photographer. Like, I literally
mhm.
sit down with artists and I tell them what I think about their platform and what they could do to better it. And it's all up to them if they take the advice, you know what I mean? And I could guarantee you the ones that do, they see a difference. And that's why I have haters that I used to fuck with because once you stop fucking with somebody, you realize that it wasn't you all along. It like this other person was really like helping you out, and it fades away as you go. You go with it because now you're not feeding their brain no more. You know what I mean? But they don't realize that. You know what I mean? So it's all up to
Yeah,
them to pick up that knowledge and to be like, you know what? That's what I learned. Let me go crazy. But that's why the haters hate me, you know what I mean? Because once I stopped fucking with a lot of people, that's when my shit went up. God
wow,
blesses people, you know what I mean, that just in the right, bro, living in the good, you dig me? And when motherfuckers try to shade you and put you down to their level, God's gonna see that and be like, nah, I'm gonna bless you now, boy.
yeah, I love that, bro. I love that, man. KShotem. So what's next for KShotem, man? Like, where do you see yourself? Or talk about some of the goals you have. Short term and long term goals. I mean,
I mean,
share,
to be
what can
to be honest with you, bro, like I mean, I'm getting I'm enhancing the setup, you know what I mean? Um and with that, obviously my platform's just gonna grow naturally, organically. And that's one thing I'm big on is doing things the organic way, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people they buy bots, they buy likes and it just ain't adding up, you know what I mean? And I'm really big on just having a core, support system, you know what I mean? Not just on some like what it looks like type shit, but realistically, bro, my goal is to be the biggest motherfucking, the biggest interviewer in the world. Like, fuck all that. Oh, I'm trying to be the biggest interviewer in Orange County because that's just too small. And that's one reason, bro. I never base my platform off of one area. You never just see me base it off of Orange County because you're putting yourself in a box now. I mean, I still support Orange County and I put it on the map because I still interview Orange County artists, ask certain shit that has to do with Orange County. But,
uh-huh.
you know, I'm not trying to put myself in no box, you know what I mean? And Orange County typically ain't on, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm doing my part, but a lot of these platforms that be, you know, basing their shit off of Orange County, to me, that's just dick riding, you know what I mean? Like, that's not being original to just ride like almost like a little Orange County wave right now, you know what I mean? And that's one reason why when you look at my platform, it's like it's my own, like I didn't take it from nobody. I didn't like see somebody else and say, "Oh, I want the blue light or I want this couch setting." Like this is all me. Just like when I don't know if you ever seen Off the Porch, but it's basically they do interviews and they just sitting on the porch. It's obviously staged, you know what I mean, but it's still a nice look, but
Oh,
they didn't take that from nobody, you know what I mean? Like that's their own shit.
yeah.
So I'm big on that, bro. Like I'm big on just being me and being my own person, and that's why everything that I do out here, I can't be cloned. You dig me? And if you see somebody doing something similar, you can guarantee they got it off me. You know what I mean?
I know, brother. Yeah, because when I saw you, man, I couldn't tell where you were from, bro. Like, are you from Cali, from the East Coast? Are you, yeah, it was
No, yeah,
rich.
definitely born and raised Cali, man. Like, I mean, I got family in like all over, like Oklahoma, Louisiana, like all other type shit. You know what I mean? But
Mm,
me, I'm born and raised in Cali. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they ask me, did you grow up in the South? Did you grow up in Texas and all this shit? I'm like, hell no. Like, I've been Cali, you know, Cali baby, you know what I mean? Santa Ana, Garden Grove, Anaheim type shit since forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Born and raised Cali through and through, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Man.
I just didn't spend too much time down by the beaches, you know what I mean? Like, I live more like in the city, you know, shit be happening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah, Orange County, man. It's a vibe, brother. I love Orange County, bro.
Hell
We got
yeah.
lots of girls down there. I love, growing up.
All types.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful out here. You dig me?
Oh man. But hey, brother, man, I want to thank you, KShotem, for coming through, brother. Before we wrap things up, man, tell the good people where they can find you, man, where they can connect with you and all that good stuff. Social media, websites, all that good stuff.
Hey man, check it out. It's your motherfucking boy KShotem just got done with the profile podcast interview and all that, man. Make sure you go tune into that shit, man. My boy really doing big things out here, man. He about to take off soon, you dig me? But shit, for me, man, just hit me up on Instagram, you know what I mean? KShotem, KShot exclusives and all that, man. Make sure you stay tuned in. Drop every Monday, you know what I mean? Really pushing the line, man.
That's it, man. I appreciate you, bro. Hey, let's get a shot of that piece right there, bro, on that
Oh
neck.
yeah.
Let's get a close up on it because I know you just got that recently, and there it is, right there. Bam. Yeah, that's sweet, man. There it
Oh,
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
I had to
yeah,
get
yeah.
that shit, all this hard work, you know what I mean? It's gonna pay off eventually, you dig me?
Yeah, bro. Of course, man. No, hey, bro. No, you're an inspiration, man. I appreciate you, man. I wish you nothing but the best of success.
Oh yeah, bro. You
I know
too.
you grinding. Yeah, thank you, man. And we're gonna stay connected, man. I'm gonna pick your brain, and again, man, just keep going, bro. Keep going, man. You inspire me. So again, thank you for coming through, brother.
Hell yeah, bro. Salute to you and your platform and everybody, man. Like, it's nothing but love over here, man.
100%, bro. 100%, man. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. KShotem. Go check him out. Go check out his interviews. You can check him out on YouTube. You can check out the footage, some of the clips on his page, Instagram. He's all over, man. He's all over the place. So what he does is really, really unique. And as you just heard, man, he's got a great story. He's got a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, insight. So go check out KShotem, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank all of you for tuning in right here on the visual, whether you're on the audio. If you're listening on the audio, thank you so much for the love, the support on Instagram, on all the social media platforms. Don't forget to leave a rate review on Apple Podcasts, man. Let's connect, man. Let's keep up building, keep on inspiring each other and building that community, man. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming through right here with Double A on the Profile Pod. For KShotem, I'm Double A. We'll see you guys next week. And always remember to take it easy. Peace.